session, so we're back and open. And I guess we will get things started now that we have a quorum. All right. Do we have a motion to adopt the minutes of the December 10th, 2025 meeting as presented?
So moved.
Second.
I believe I heard Mr. Duraco and Mr. Jackson on that.
It was me, Mr. Bennett, Bill Close.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. Great, okay. Mr. Duraco, Mr. Close, Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Mr. Duraco,
Yes.
Mr. Close,
Yes.
Mr. Avery,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez, and Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
Motion approved.
I guess we'll move on to first matter, ethics matter.
Thank you, Director. The first matter is 22-031. Here, the board is being asked to approve a notice of determination where the board is dismissing the complaint for having no reasonable factual basis.
Any questions, concerns from the board, public? Okay, hearing none. Do we have a motion to issue a notice of determination to one LGO dismissing the complaint as having no reasonable factual basis?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Jackson and Mr. Avery, Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Mr. Duraco,
Yes.
Mr. Close,
I prefer warning.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Mr. Avery,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez, and Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next item.
The next matter is 25-026. Here, the board is being asked to approve a notice of determination where the board is dismissing the complaint for having no jurisdiction as it is regarding a complaint on a matter which is pending in a court of law or administrative agency of the state.
Any questions, concerns? Okay, hearing none. Do we have a motion to issue a notice of determination to one LGO dismissing the complaint as having no jurisdiction?
So moved.
That's for my. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Second.
Mr. Avery and Mr. Jackson, Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Mr. Duraco,
Yes.
Mr. Close,
Yes.
Mr. Avery,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez, and Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Okay, thank you. Before we move on to the next item, can we just have everyone mute themselves so we don't hear any background noise? Thank you. Okay, Mr. Martell.
Okay. The next matter is 24-024. Here, the board is being asked to approve two notices of dismissals. The board had investigated these matters for potential violations of the local government ethics law and found no violations.
Any questions, concerns about this matter? All right. Hearing none, do we have a motion to issue notices of dismissal to two LGOs dismissing the complaints following an investigation?
So move.
Have a second?
Second.
Mr.
you.
Jackson and Mr. Avery, Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Mr. Duraco,
Yes.
Mr. Close,
Yes.
Mr. Avery,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez, and Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next item involves the financial disclosure statements. Who's handling that?
Yep. So the
Okay,
last matter before the board is the 2025 FDS enforcement update. At this time, the board is being asked to waive the fine for failure to file a 2025 FDS by 62 LGOs who either had general excuses or had held multiple positions, and to rescind the violation for a total of 8 LGOs who were deceased or who were found in violation due to cleric error. The board is also being asked to acknowledge the payment of the fine by 160 LGOs.
Thank Thank you. Any questions, concerns? All right, hearing none. Do we have a motion to rescind the NOVs issued to 8 LGOs for failure to file the 2025 FDS due to a local government entity representative error, and motion to waive the fine for 62 LGOs who either had general excuses or have held multiple positions?
So moved. Second.
Do I have a second?
Okay, Mr. Avery, Mr. Jackson, Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Mr. Duraco,
Yes.
Mr. Close,
Yes.
Mr. Avery,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez, and Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Very good. I guess let's move into applications. Just to remind everyone, please just remain muted to eliminate background noise if your application is not being heard. Also, if you're on audio, please just use *6 to mute and unmute yourself. And then when your application is up, if you are testifying and you're not an attorney, please make sure your video is on so you can be sworn in. Right. And I guess first application, moving into Jackson Fire District 4.
Morning, Director. Matt Jessup here.
Good morning, Mr. Jessup.
So, Director, I see this morning we have Fire District Commissioner Raymond Torres on. We also have Cheryl Parker, the board accountant, and Fire District General Counsel Rich Braslow should also be on. The commissioner and Ms. Parker will need to be sworn in.
Okay, great. Let's get you sworn in. Lauren?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
Mr. Jessup?
All right, thank you. So, good morning, everyone. Matt Jessup from McManaman, Scotland and Bauman. We have this morning an application by the Township of Jackson Fire District number 4, pursuant to NJSA 485A-6, in connection with the bonded note financing and acquisition of a fire truck in an amount not to exceed $1.5 million. The acquisition of the truck and the financing of the truck was approved by the voters at an election held on September 11th, 2025. The vote was 515 in favor and 108 against. As the board is very familiar, that's actually a pretty good participation rate at about 4.5% for one of these elections. The fire district is procuring the truck through the Sourcewell NJPA cooperative. The purchase price is about $1.5 million. As I know the board is very familiar from all these applications, the fire district will realize savings on both the cost of the truck, in this case about 5%, and the procurement by going through a co-op as opposed to doing a separate procurement. The new truck is replacing a 2001 truck that has over 72,000 miles on it and over 8,700 service hours. The fire district is going to sell the 2001 truck competitively via GovDeals, and will use the proceeds to downsize the $1.5 million financing on the new truck. The fire district is also going to make a 5% down payment on the fire truck, which is $75,000, and finance the $1.425 million residual amount, of course, then less whatever we get from the sale of the truck, through a combination of bonds and notes over a 20-year term. Based on a 5% interest rate, annual debt service is about $115,000 per year, which represents about $190 tax impact to the average assessed value homeowner. That math is sort of a slight update to what we indicated in the application, which did not include a down payment at the time. We were seeking the full $1.5 million, of course, less the truck financing. But in talking to the fire district post-filing of the application, and honestly until about 30 minutes ago, Cheryl, the fire district figured that we could, make that commitment to provide, in addition to the truck use of funds, an additional budgetary use of funds towards the down payment. The fire district's only outstanding debt is a fire truck lease with a final payment due this year in the amount of $122,000. So the financing plan for the new truck, including our term, our 20-year term, and the amount that we were financing and are still really financing, were planned so that we basically have a nearly identical match, right? So while all other costs, unfortunately, in our budget and every budget goes up each year, the debt service number basically stays consistent, 120,000 plus or minus this year, 115,000 plus or minus going into next year. And finally, as what's probably maybe a second brief little housekeeping matter, when we filed the application, we noted that the audit had not yet been completed. The audit has since been completed, delivered, and approved by the fire district. So that process is complete. And with that, Director, I'll turn it back to you on the board.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jessup. Appreciate it. I'll open it up to, I don't have any questions at the moment, but I'll open it up to the board for any, the public at this time. Guess it's pretty straightforward.
We think so too.
Any questions? Okay. All right. I guess, do we have a motion to render positive findings on the proposed project financing for a term not to exceed 20 years for the purchase of this fire engine? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Thank you.
Mr. Avery and Mr. Jackson, Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Mr. Duraco, Mr. Duraco, Mr. Close,
Yeah,
Mr. Avery,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez, Mr. Jackson.
I'm gonna make sure I'm muted
Apologies.
here, because they got me in.
This is
I'm sorry.
Nick Duraco. I'm a yes. I apologize. I just wanted to.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm
Thanks.
sorry, Mr. Jackson, I didn't hear you.
Yes.
Okay. With 5 votes in favor, the motion was approved.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Jessup.
you all very much. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Yep. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to City of Union City's application.
Good morning, Director. Jeff Winitsky from Parker McKay. We're bond counsel to the city. With me today is Tammy Zuka, who is the CFO. And I think we've also got either Heather Litzbauer or Brendan Hansen from NW. I'm not sure. Oh, and Mike Hanley is on as well. So you've got lots of folks from NWR today. But I think only Mike will be relevant for this application. So if you want to just get Tammy and Mike signed in or sworn in, that'd be great.
Okay, great. Lauren?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, floor is yours, Mr. Winitsky.
Thank you. So we're here today seeking approval for Union City pursuant to NJSA 48.3-1 at SEC to issue its general obligation qualified bonds in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $4,952,000. As I mentioned, those bonds would be qualified pursuant to the provisions of the Municipal Qualified Bond Act. The proceeds of the bonds specifically will be used to permanently finance a series of bond anticipation notes that have been issued through the Hudson County Improvement Authority's pooled loan note program for a couple of years. Those notes were originally issued to finance a host of capital improvements and equipment for the city, including acquisition of certain real property, some park improvements, municipal building improvements, etc. In Exhibit A to the application, we put a full list of all the projects that were relevant. This is what we're doing today is really just an extension of what we have been doing, and the HCIA expects its borrower units to do, which is essentially use the program on a short-term basis and then eventually term those notes out on a permanent basis. This is the city's opportunity to do so for this portion of notes. They have other series of notes that are through the HCIA, but this is a good chunk that we're going to take out long term. the board, in connection with the ordinance that is relevant for the bonds, previously approved that. The city is required to do that under state supervision also, because if you're going to utilize Municipal Qualified Bond Act, any of those ordinances need to be approved prior to adoption. The board has done that. Really, the only reason we're here today is to advise that we're now in a position to issue long-term and to present to you the amortization schedule for those bonds. In the application itself, you'll see that we're looking at a roughly 15-year amortization with level debt service throughout, a little over $470,000 a year. Not a big bond issuance for the city. Net impact for the average assessed is around $25 per household, give or take, depending on the value, but using average assessed, it's around $25 per household. We've got Tammy on, we've got Mike on if you have any questions, but the application is relatively straightforward. So we're here to answer anything else you might have.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Just a question around the, I think this amount is of a $35 million bond ordinance that's been adopted. What's the plan for the rest of that? If there is any, can anyone speak to that? Just curious.
Tammy, you want to, a couple things.
Yep, I'll take that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, most of the $35 million bond has already been financed, whether it be notes or bonds. I think there might only be a small portion left to fund, maybe $3 million, if that.
Okay.
But, over the course of the years since the ordinance was adopted, we've been, chipping away at the $35 million.
Okay, so that's roughly about $3 million that's left in.
That's about what's left, yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. All right. Open it up to the board public for any questions at this time. Hearing any? All right. Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the issuance of qualified bonds under the Municipal Qualified Bond Act in an amount not to exceed $4.952 million?
So moved.
Second.
Sorry, Mr. Close and Mr. Jackson, Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Mr. Duraco,
Yes.
Mr. Close,
Yes.
Mr. Avery,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
I'm going to abstain because I didn't get to hear.
and Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you. All right, moving on to Hudson County Improvement Authority application.
Good morning, Director. Chris Langhart, McManaman, Scotland, and Bauman is on the line.
Yep.
Morning.
Good morning, Slinghart.
Director, we have a fair number of people on the line for this application, so I can introduce them. We get them sworn in if that works.
That would be appreciated. Thank you, Lauren.
Okay. Director, for the Hudson County Improvement Authority, we have Charles Cairo, the CFO, on the line. As stated, I represent the authority in this presentation. For the County of Hudson, from the County Finance Department, we have Cheryl Fuller on the line. I believe Everett Johnson, their bond counsel, is on the line too. Representing the borrowers, City of Bayonne, we have CFO Donna Maurer on the line, along with their bond counsel, Mariana Diosa Cosme. For the Town of Guttenberg, Finance Director Hiram Gonzalez. Again, we represent Guttenberg too, so I can speak for them if necessary. Township of North Bergen, CFO Bob Pitfield is on with their bond counsel Steve Rogut. City of Union City, you just heard from them, CFO Tammy Zuka, Jeff Winitsky still on the line. Township of Weehawken, we have CFO Lisa Toscano with their bond counsel Jason Capizzi. And Town of West New York, CFO Vincent Buono with their bond counsel William Mayer. I believe representing North Hudson Regional Fire and Rescue, which is one of their beneficiaries of the pool financing. We have Mayor Richard Turner on the line. Last but not least, Municipal Advisor, NW Financial. We have Mike Hanley and Brendan Hansen continuing to be on the line.
Okay, let's get everybody sworn in. Have your video on, please.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
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 Thank you, everyone. Director, I will go through a short presentation, and if you want, I'll go through a short summary of what each of the borrowers is proposing to do with the note proceeds that we're going to be talking about. I'll be happy to take questions.
Okay, thank you.
So, morning to the members and staff of the board. The Hudson County Improvement Authority is before you with an application for a pooled note financing. These applications have come before you before over the past few years, and they usually come a few times a year, so I think you're familiar with the structure. In this instance, we're looking for findings for a pooled note financing in an amount not to exceed $47,624,000. We are breaking the notes into two separate series, a tax-exempt series of $41,624,000, and then a recently added federally taxable series of $6 million. When this application originally came to you, it was for a total amount of $47,624,000, all tax exempt due to various circumstances. Kind of late in the game, we pulled out $6 million and made it federally taxable just to cover some proposed tax issues, or possible tax issues, I should say, that we're happy to talk about as we go through the application. We are requesting two sets of financings, both under the same two statutes. One is for the aggregate pooled financing, project financing on behalf of the authority. We're requesting findings under the local authority's fiscal control law, section 40A:5A6, and the related County of Hudson guarantee that is traditionally applied to the pooled financing from the County of Hudson. That's under the Improvement Authority's law 40:37A-80. We are also requesting under those same statutes findings for the authority itself, which is acting as a borrower in this pool for an amount not to exceed $6 million for the benefit of the North Hudson Fire and Rescue. I will just go through a brief summary of what we have in the application, Director. I don't want to speak too much for the municipalities and what they're doing, but I'll give you an overview of what's being proposed to do with the note proceeds. Weehawken is going to issue an aggregate amount of $19,194,000 in notes. They're going to use those proceeds to currently refund 3 existing notes. The first note will be in the amount of $12,300,000, and that, along with a pay down of $468,000, will be used to currently refund an existing $12,768,000 note that was originally issued for various capital improvements and the purchase of real property. Second note is in the amount of $166,000 with a pay down of like amount, $166,000, to currently refund a $332,000 tax appeal note that is coming due. The final note is in the amount of $6,728,000, and that will refund in full an existing note, currently refund an existing note in full. I'm going to hold off on Bayonne, which is the next municipality in your application. We'll come back to them. Union City will take $12,915,000 of the proceeds to currently refund a $14,497,000 note with the application of $9,090,000 of the proceeds from this pool applied to it with a pay down of $455,000. The balance will be permanently financed outside of the pool, and I believe that's the application that Jeff and Tammy were just addressing prior to this. For a permanent financing in the amount of $4,952,000. Union City will also issue a new money note in the amount of $3,825,000 for capital improvements and capital equipment. North Hudson Regional Fire and Rescue. They will issue an amount not to exceed $6 million for the purchase of 2 fire trucks, purchase of communications equipment, and for various improvements and renovations at the existing firehouses. The $6 million will be secured, as we've done traditionally in the past, by the 5 municipalities that participate in the North Hudson Fire and Rescue. They are Guttenberg, North Bergen, Union City, Weehawken, and West New York. They've each adopted municipal guarantees for this to secure the $6 million in notes that the fire and rescue will be issuing. I did want to comment on those guarantees. Initially, we planned on doing this as a standalone financing. We were going to come to the board in November for a hearing in December, and the municipalities kind of set up their schedule, their guarantee schedule to accommodate that. But because we've got 5 municipalities, we've got the Hudson County Improvement Authority schedule, we've got the Fire and Rescue schedule, and Local Finance Board schedule, we ultimately ended up getting delayed 30 days. The reason I bring that up is because out of the 5 municipal guarantees, 3 of them have been adopted prior to this hearing. 2 of them are being carried over and will be adopted after the hearing. And we got to that point because the municipalities thought they would be being heard at the December meeting of the Local Finance Board, and they scheduled their final adoptions for late December after that hearing. As the board probably knows, and you know, Director, a lot of municipalities and their council don't like to introduce in one calendar year and adopt in the following calendar year. So with the delay in the scheduling, we kind of got in a little bit of a pickle there. So 3 of them did finally adopt to avoid that issue. The other issue we did look at is if you were to carry it over, and you were comfortable carrying it over the calendar year, you would be finally adopting after this hearing here on January 14th. The closing of this no pool is scheduled for early in March 2nd, I believe. So to finally adopt after this hearing, depending on when your meeting date is, and then get your notice to the newspaper and then run your 20-day estoppel period, you are likely going to be looking at a date in mid-February as to when you're finally clear of your guarantee schedule estoppel period. We do like to post the POS and leave it out there for a week to market the deal properly. And we do like to give ourselves 2 weeks if possible for closing, between pricing and closing. Because in a deal like this, you've got multiple municipalities, multiple parties, auditors, municipal advisors, and you have a trustee. So get those documents out and get them back in time is an undertaking, and we'd like to give ourselves some time. So for all these reasons, the delay, the turn of the calendar year, the compressed time schedule, we did end up with 3 of the municipalities finally adopting before the hearing. I want to stress that's not the way we normally do it. It's not the way we like to do it. We understand the Local Finance Board doesn't like to see it done that way either. Towards that end, I would submit that these guarantees have been reviewed and approved by the Local Finance Board in the past. There's nothing new or novel about them. And I would also submit that these guarantees are only for a portion of the deal, for the authority fire and rescue portion. The entire deal is wrapped with the county guarantee, and there's no issues with the adoption of that guarantee or the timing thereof. So for all these reasons, we're hopeful that you will accept the guarantees in the state that they're in, with the knowledge that we didn't intend to do it that way and we don't intend on doing it that way in the future. I also want to just thank you, Director, and Nick, the Executive Secretary, for reaching out to me, giving me a chance to explain how we got to where we got to on that issue, and just at least allowing us to kind of lay out the timeline and why we ended up in this position. So going back to the financing, those municipal guarantees are each in the amount of $1.2 million, which is, 5 municipalities, 20% of the total issuance. They're each guaranteeing 20% of it. Finally, going back to Bayonne, they are going to issue no proceeds in the amount of $15,515,000 to pay off, or to currently refund an existing note in the amount of $15,900,000, with a pay down of $385,000 being made. This is the part where we have the second series of taxable notes. That $15.9 million, along with the pay down, we've split between $9,515,000 issued as tax exempt, and then the $6 million issued as federally taxable. And the reason we got to that point, and it kind of came up late in the game, is that the city is going to acquire property with these note proceeds. When they acquire the property, there'll be redevelopment done on the property. You'll have a private use. My understanding is we're not quite sure when that transfer is going to take place. So just out of an abundance of caution and to mitigate any possible tax issues for the city and for the pool, they decided to issue a portion, the $6 million, on a federally taxable basis. And we have bond counsel and Donna on there to talk about this if need be. So that was a mouthful. I appreciate you bearing with me through all of that, and I will turn it back to you. We're happy to take questions about any or all of it.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Langar, for the just the overview and just sort of the procedural kind of hiccups you we're dealing with, and appreciate your time with explaining that to us prior to, and then to the rest of the board and public on this.
Yep.
So thank you for that. It will modify a little bit of our, I think, the motion, but I think you understand, well, what we're doing here, and we'll try to accommodate that in the motion. Okay, so I will now open it up to the board and the public for any questions on the application. Not hearing any? Yes, everybody understands this. I will take this. I'm going to do two motions, which is being requested, but I'm going to try to explain a little bit so it's clear on the record. So the first motion will be to render positive findings with respect to the issuance of the county guaranteed pool notes in an amount not to exceed $47,624,000, which consists of the $41,624,000 county guaranteed pool notes, and then the $6 million county guaranteed pool notes that are federally taxable. Do we have a motion on that?
I'll move it.
Yeah. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's Mr. Jackson, Mr. Avery, Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Mr. Duraco,
Yes.
Mr. Close,
Yes.
Mr. Avery,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes. Yes.
and Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
That motion is
Okay.
approved, right?
Great. And the second motion will be to render positive findings on the $6 million North Hudson Regional Fire Project. Positive findings on the municipal guarantees of Union City, Weehawken, West New York, Guttenberg, and North Bergen to the substance of the guarantee as a security for the proposed project financing, given that the proposed guarantees of West New York, Guttenberg, and North Bergen did not adhere to board policy because they were not submitted to the board for prior review to adoption. So just get that on the record, but we are issuing positive findings on this with that qualification.
Thank you, Director.
Yeah. Okay, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, I heard Mr. Avery first. So Mr. Duraco and Mr. Avery. Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Mr. Duraco,
Yes.
Mr. Close,
Yes.
Mr. Avery,
Yes.
Mrs. Rodriguez,
Yes.
and Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Langhart.
Yes, thank you, Director, and thank you to the board for taking all this into consideration.
Thank
Much
you.
appreciated. Yep.
Thank you. All right, moving on to Monmouth County Improvement Authority. I think Mr. Duraco will need to recuse himself.
Correct. Yes, for the record,
Yes,
I'll
okay.
recuse.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay,
I'm going to
thank
log
you.
off.
Okay.
Good morning, Director Rogers. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Catalupo. How are you?
All right, doing great.
Great.
We have a number of participants here as well as some county officials and Improvement Authority officials that need to be sworn in. We have 23 total participants, as well as Teresa Vitale, the Director of Finance for the county, and Heather Litzbauer from NW Financial as municipal advisor to the Improvement Authority. So with that, would you like to have them sworn in?
Yes, we can get everybody on video and sworn in who's going to testify or potentially testify.
Correct.
Okay. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
I do.
Okay.
Thank you, Director. Okay to proceed?
Yes, please.
All right. John Cantalupo from Archer and Griner, bond attorney to the Monmouth County Improvement Authority. We're here today pursuant to NJSA 48-5A-6, requesting positive findings to issue one or more series of pooled loan project notes in the Improvement Authority's annual pooled note program. There are currently 23 participants, as I discussed briefly before. 22 are municipalities, and one is a local authority. We are also seeking positive findings for the Eaton Town Sewage Authority, which is that local authority, to issue $900,000 in project notes to the authority under separate application, and they'll give separate testimony during this presentation. Likewise, we also have the Associated County guarantees on the local unit project notes that will be issued to the trustee, as this is a two-tiered structure, which I'll explain later. This program began back in 2023 in response to a disruption in the municipal marketplace, whereby a number of underwriters in New Jersey had been fined by the Securities and Exchange Commission, which resulted in municipalities really only being able to sell their notes for 9 months without an official statement, or a year with an official statement. This caused a number of issues in the marketplace, including increased interest rates because of less competition, additional costs associated with preparation of an official statement, as well as time and a burden on smaller municipalities in particular. So in response to that, the Monmouth County Commissioners and the Monmouth County Improvement Authority wanted to help its 53 towns in Monmouth County to help achieve, interest rate savings as well as cost savings. And they introduced the pooled note program, which matures 90 days after their pooled loan program. So every year, if you have a note that issues into the pooled note program, you can permanently finance that note if it's your time to permanently finance in the December Monmouth County Improvement Authority pooled loan program or bond program. So this program has been very successful in Monmouth County in response to some of the marketplace disruptions that they've had. It started out in 2023 with just 13 municipalities. It has now grown to 23 local units, which includes that utility authority. With that, what I'd like to do, Director, as we have in the past with both the pooled loan and the pooled note program, we just take a sampling of the 23 rather than go through. We can always go through the 23, or if any of the commissioners have questions with regard to them, we can do that. But is it okay if I just call on a few of our folks?
That's fine. Thank you, Mr. Cantalupo.
Okay. First, we'd like to call a CFO, Lou Palazzo from Howell, who has approximately $27 million in a pool, just to give the highlights of what they're going to be financing this year.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Director. Yes, our note is just a rollover of previous bond anticipation notes that we have gotten through the Monmouth County Improvement Authority. They've been used to finance bond ordinances that consisted of road improvements, equipment purchases, property acquisition. We absolutely enjoy using the Monmouth County Improvement Authority for their AAA rating. A very good group of people and professionals to work with. So we are always in favor of doing this deal. Absolutely.
Thank you,
Mr. Palazzo. Thank you.
No worries.
Next, if it's possible, I know we have, is Christopher Clinton on? He represents both Freehold Borough and Matawan, and maybe because they're both different size and smaller towns, you can give a idea of each one of those issuance. Freehold Borough has about a $20 million issuance, and Matawan has about a $4.5 million note issuance. Christopher? Hello? Is Christopher on? If he's not.
Sorry, my mic wasn't working.
Okay.
I apologize about that. Thank you very much for having me. First time being here. For Freehold Borough, we're doing a rollover of last year's funds that we had with MCIA. We have a hold for The 2.6, in case a new project were to come up in the time frame. At this time, we do not believe we will be using that. We will likely be drawing it down to just the 17 million for the rollover. And for Matawan, they're doing 2 large road improvement projects that they will need funding for, and that's what their 4.5 million is.
Okay, thank you, Christopher. Thank you for doing a double presentation.
Thanks.
You're very welcome.
For the price of one.
There you go. Make it easier.
Additionally, is Bradley Beach on? I believe that we have maybe their bond attorney and Mayor Gubitosi. Are you on as well for Bradley Beach? If not, we can switch to perhaps Amy Spira from Seagirt to discuss the issuance from Seagirt.
Hi, John. How are you? Sorry, my camera is not working today. But yes, I can discuss the issuance for Seagirt. Seagirt's looking to roll over some old notes of about a little over 2 million and then issue new money just under another 2 million. Primarily, we had to replace some of our outfall pipes leading into the beach that caused some major flooding this fall, along with some roadway improvement projects throughout town.
Thank you, Amy. Next, we'd like to turn to Eatontown Sewage Authority. Robert Valet, I believe, is on. And we're asking for a separate positive findings for their issuance of project notes to the Improvement Authority on their own, and also in connection with our own project notes that we've been discussing. So, Robert, do you want to discuss what the $900,000 in project notes will be utilized for?
Yes, it's for upsizing a pipe to accommodate development from 2 different developments that are happening in Eatontown. Originally, it was going to be partially financed by the second developer, but timing issues have pushed that development back, and we have an obligation to the first developer to upsize the pipe for them. So to avoid draining our reserves, we're looking to get this note as a temporary bridge.
Just a quick question. Will you be reimbursed by the second phases redevelopment project?
Yes,
yeah.
65% of the costs would be reimbursed by the second developer.
Okay. And that was the original agreement. It's just the timing wasn't right.
Yeah, there's a series of developers agreements that were put in place before I started here, and one has a timing issue in it that the clock's already started, and we've had to get to the point where we're going to build this in 2026 to meet those deadlines.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else, Mr. Cantalupo?
I think that's kind of it. We usually have about 4 or 5 towns, large and small, big issuance, large issuance. So we try to run that. If you're okay, I'll move on to the rest of our presentation.
Yes,
so okay, Director?
Yeah.
All right. So lastly, there's a 2-tier structure here, and the authority is requesting not to exceed $518,560,530. What that basically is that due to this 2-tiered structure, one series of project notes is purchased by a trustee and is held by the trustee, and that provides security for the notes that get issued to the public in the same amount of $259, $280, $265. So what happens here is that the guarantees are on those local unit notes that are held by the trustee, and then the public notes get issued to bondholders by the Improvement Authority, and the payments from the local unit notes held by the trustee secure the payments on the publicly held bonds. So this 2-tiered structure allows each participant to be solely liable for its obligations and allows the county to extend its guarantee to each participant's notes, each individual notes, as opposed to the larger notes. But it all aggregates up to the larger note as well. This time, what I'd like to do, yes, sir.
Yeah, just for the record, the total not to exceed amount is $518,650,530. Is that correct? Okay.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep. And what I'd like to do is turn this over to Heather to talk about pricing of the notes in terms of interest rates and why it's advantageous to the participants to utilize the county's 3 credit bureau, a AAA bond rating.
Okay.
Sure. So the very preliminary conservative estimates for the true interest cost is 2.66%, which has been consistent with 1-year notes in the market that are rated and have an official statement. All the costs are included in the financing, and when you look at competitive note sales, those costs are not built in doing the official statement, getting a rating. They're not built into the rate. It's actually after the fact where you pay those issuance costs. So there is a slight interest rate benefit for the participants. And then also the biggest savings here is the time savings for each of the participants because they don't have to do their own official statement or a rating review with a rating agency.
Yeah, and the costs associated with ratings or official statements as well, like individually.
Correct.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Director, in conclusion, we're just seeking positive findings for this 2-tiered note structure that I discussed earlier, the county guarantees associated with it, as well as the Eatontown Sewage Authority positive findings on their $900,000 in project notes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Cantalupo. And you may have said this earlier and I didn't hear it. Did the county introduce their ordinance earlier this week?
Yes, they introduced them on Monday night, and I believe Nick had received them by Tuesday morning and acknowledged receipt. So I assume Nick has everything, all 23. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'll open it up to the board and public at this time for questions. Not hearing it. Kind of silence. All right. All right. So I'm going to wrap this up in one motion. There's 3 components of this, and I'm just going to try to get this right here. Do we have a motion for positive findings regarding the issuance of the pooled 2026 notes in the aggregate amount of not to exceed $518,650,530, of which not to exceed $259,280,265 would consist of the MCIA local unit bonds and a not to exceed $259,280,265 would consist of the Monmouth County Improvement Authority public notes. Positive findings regarding the proposed county guarantees on the amount of not to exceed $259,280,265, and the proposed transaction for the issuance of the 2026 notes in the amount of not to exceed $900,000 regarding the Eatontown Sewage Authority requests. So, do we have a motion for positive findings?
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Avery, Ms. Rodriguez, Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Duraco is recused. Mr. Close.
Yes.
Mr. Avery.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
The motions are approved, and I just want to bring Mr. Duraco back into the meeting.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Cantalupo. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Okay. Do we have Mr. Duraco back yet or no? Just give him a moment. Jump back in. All right. Okay. All right, we're moving on to Carneys Point Township Sewerage Authority application.
Good morning again, Director. Jeff Winitsky from Parker McKay Bond Counsel to the Authority. On today from the Authority is Steve Testa, who's the CFO, and I believe Mike Chapman is also on. We've also got Brian Morris, who is the financial advisor, Stephanie DeSantis from formerly Bowman and Company, now PFK O'Connor Davies, the auditor, and Sean O'Donnell from Sickles, who is the Authority's engineer. So if you want to just get those folks sworn in, we can proceed.
Great. Thank you. Lauren?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes. Right.
Thank you.
Yours. Yep.
So we're here today seeking positive findings pursuant to NJSA 48-5A-6 for the issuance of not to exceed $12 million of the Authority's sewer project notes, the proceeds of which will be used by the Authority on a temporary basis to finance the costs of a sewer force main expansion project. And I'll get into the specifics of that in a second. Specifically, the proceeds of the notes will be used to finance on a temporary basis the cost to install a new sanitary sewer force main that will bisect the county of Carneys Point to accommodate new development and construction and to increase and expected increased sewer flows. Specifically, the project will extend a new 13,500 linear foot, 10-inch sanitary sewer force main from an existing wastewater treatment plant to an existing pump station that's going to be upgraded. In addition, it's expected for future development, there's going to be another force main for an additional 16,900 linear feet. So this is sort of a phased project. This is the first portion of that. Carneys Point is seeing a lot of development, so the Authority is prepared to handle the sewer inflows. Total project costs are approximately $10,945,000. That includes hard costs, soft costs, cost of issuance, and capitalized interest. What makes this financing unique is that, normally we probably wouldn't be in front of you today. We'd be talking to the fine folks at the Infrastructure Bank. But in this instance, the Authority has received a couple of grants and a loan commitment from both the U.S. Department of Agriculture through its Rural Development Program, as well as the U.S. Department of United States Economic Development Authority, mouthful there. So USDA and USEDA. Specifically, the USDA will provide a grant in the amount of $276,000. And then a long-term low-interest loan in the amount of $6,049,000, with the USEDA providing a separate grant in the amount of $3,500,000. So the total grants and loans are $9,825,000, with project costs, a little bit higher than that. So the way that federal programs work, and frankly, a lot of state programs work, the grants and the permanent loans are not sort of unlocked unless and until the project is deemed substantially complete. So in this instance, the Authority is essentially borrowing short-term to ultimately take out that temporary note with grant proceeds and loan proceeds, in this instance, from USDA. The USDA loan, as is the case with the Rural Development Program, is a 40-year loan, 40-year loan with very, minor principal and a low interest cost. That's just how the program is set up. Ultimately, debt service on that, when we take the grants into account, is around $211,000 a year. The Authority has virtually no debt outstanding at the moment. I think there's about $83,000 of debt at present. And because we're layering in grant proceeds as well as a very low interest cost loan, this is really a perfect setup with respect to the Authority's ability to unlock and buy down the costs of what would otherwise be a very large, expenditure. So we think we're doing it in the right way at the end of the day to structure it in this manner. The notes will be outstanding for about 30 months, give or take, and that's the expected construction completion timeline. And then there's certifications to be made to USDA when you're substantially complete, and then it converts, right? Which is how the program works. So that's the gist of call it the financing side. The notes will be in the first instance secured by sewer revenues, as well as a service contract that exists with the Township of Carneys Point. The same will be true when they go along with the USDA. So that's the financing part, the security part. I also wanted to address sort of at the outset, this application was deferred on several instances, and we've had several conversations with the board, in particular with the director and with Nick, relative to the status of the authority's audit. We recognize that has been a lagging problem, but one that we have been working very, very diligently to resolve. And in fact, the authority was a couple of years behind. They got 2 of those out of the way. I think the only remaining is last year's, which I believe a form of at least a form of that audit had been presented, with the final to be provided in short order. I believe Stephanie's on and the authority can speak to that. But I wanted to just address that at the outset, that we were not ignoring it. This is a conversation we have had over the course of the last couple of months, and one that we're working very quickly to resolve, and we hope to do so. We also recognize that to the extent that the audit has not been provided, that we are comfortable with the authority's positive findings, should you give them, be subject to provision of that audit, right? Or either that or the issuance of the notes specifically. We're fine with that. We want to offer that, recognizing that this is a lagging problem, but one that we think is going to be resolved in short order. And of course, I'll let the authority and the auditor speak to that, but I wanted to address it right up front.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
I guess as we have frequently seen over the last year, some applications with federal grants. We just, given the uncertainty around federal grants these days, can you speak to that, and just sort of what would be plan B if something fell through on those federal grants?
Yeah. I mean, I would say to you, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your perspective, I think everybody is in that uncertainty state at the moment, made more difficult because we're in the state of New Jersey, and unfortunately there's some ire with all things in the state. We're no different than anybody else. We have a loan commitment, we have grant awards, we expect them to be honored. We have been given assurances by USDA and USEDA that they will be forthcoming. But to answer your question, what do we do if in fact those grants and loans do not materialize? Ultimately, as I mentioned during the presentation, the authority doesn't have any debt outstanding. So if necessary, this could be accommodated on a long-term basis based on, sewer revenue, which will be increased, frankly, by virtue of the extension of the line. So we expect future revenue increases, significant sewer revenue increases, not just from this project, but from that secondary sewer extension based on the development that's coming in the township. So we believe from from an expenditure perspective that revenues will be more than enough to accommodate future debt service. If we have to go long, we'll go long, and we'll do that likely through iBank if they'll allow us. I mean, typically they usually do an interim loan followed by a long-term. Whoops, I think somebody's got.
Sounds like you're echoing for some reason. You're doing great up to that point.
Yeah, up to that point. Yeah. Hopefully this is better. So, the idea is that if we needed to go long without the USDA loan or without the grants, we'd likely avail ourselves of iBank, which could buy down interest costs over time. Certainly, hopefully we could qualify for some principal forgiveness or other, economic levers, to buy down that cost. We hope not to do that. If we have to, we will. But we think future growth and future revenue should be enough. We're excited about the growth that's coming in town. So we think it should be more than enough to accommodate future debt service. But, cross fingers that we don't have to do that. The uncertainty is what it is, and hopefully it gets better.
I
Yeah,
appreciate
if
that.
I
Thank
could,
you. Yep.
if I could just add as well, I know the authorities, engineer and grant consultants, have been in pretty much constant communication with these federal partners, and they've done nothing but reiterate their support. So obviously that's always a risk, but we feel that they've been very helpful and have been working with the authority over this period. So hopefully that bodes well.
So do I. Okay. All right. I will open it up to the board and public for any questions at this time. Thank you. Not hearing any. All right. I guess, do we have a motion to render positive findings on the proposed project financing in an amount not to exceed $12 million?
I'll make that motion.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Duraco and Mr. Jackson. Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Mr. Duraco?
Yeah.
Mr. Close?
Yes.
Mr. Avery?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
And Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you very much.
everyone. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Very much.
Okay. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. All right. And moving on to our last application, Sayreville Economic and Redevelopment Agency.
Yes. Good morning, Director. Matt Jessup here.
Good morning,
Back.
just again. Yeah.
How are you?
Good.
Okay, so we should have a host of people. So let me try and get through and see who's here and who's not here. On behalf of the Sayreville Economic and Redevelopment Agency team, we have, at least for a little bit longer, the Executive Director, Himanshu Shah. We have Chief Financial Officer, Wayne Kranowski, General Counsel, Mike Baker, Mike Hanley from NW Financial, who's the Redevelopment Agency's financial advisor. And then from the redeveloper team, we should have Kevin Polston, Paul St. Ange, and John Drakowitz from Gibbons. And I believe Jay Biggins and Joe Lacey are here, the financial advisor to the redeveloper. I have a feeling I missed somebody, so feel free to let me know who I may have missed if you're on.
Right. Lauren, can we get everybody
I'm also
sworn
here
in?
from the redevelopment agency, Zach Schlichter, the assistant executive director.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Zach is also on. Yep, for assistant executive director.
Hey, Matt, Anthony Iacocca, counsel for Sarah as well. Thank you.
Okay. Get everybody's video on and we get you sworn in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah,
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
yes.
All right.
All right. So
Jessup.
again, Matt Jessup, McManaman, Scotland and Bauman, bond counsel to the agency. This is an application by the Sayreville Economic and Redevelopment Agency pursuant to NJSA 4858-6, NJSA 4812A29A3, and NJSA 4812A67G in connection with the issuance of not to exceed $200 million of non-recourse redevelopment area bonds in multiple series over the life of a redevelopment project we're going to discuss. That redevelopment project is a very exciting, transformative project in the borough of Sayreville that began in 2007, maybe even earlier. The project is located on the Raritan River, and it is the large site you see to your right traveling south over the Driscoll Bridge, where for years now you've seen site work. And if you've seen the site recently, you're starting to see new structures being completed. That's the core site of of this project. All of that earthwork is the start of a once-in-a-generation project that will be built over the next 15 to 20 years. Before we sort of walk you through the financing details, I'd like to ask Kevin Polston on behalf of the redeveloper to give you a little bit of history and a description of the project for everyone's benefit. Kevin, are you on?
Yes.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Director, members of the board and staff for taking time for us this morning. I'm Kevin Polston. I'm with Jamestown LP. I'm the project executive at Riverton. I've been involved in the project since 2017. Jamestown, I'm one of 5 Jamestown employees housed on site at the project, running the development services on behalf of the redeveloper, Sayreville Seaport Associates Urban Renewal. With your permission, I will share a slide deck to walk through. Let's see here. Is that visible?
It is.
Great. So just as a point of orientation, as Matt mentioned, we are at the foot of the Driscoll Bridge in central New Jersey, Middlesex County. Indicated here, we're basically where the Raritan River meets the Raritan Bay. And just to give you proximity to New Brunswick, Trenton, Staten Island, Westfield, some of the surrounding communities. This is a very interesting location with a confluence of 3 major roads, the Parkway, US 9 and State Route 35. So it's a very visible site and a very important site at the gateway into the borough of Sayreville and for Middlesex County. The entire site is over 400 acres. It consists of 3 primary parcels. Parcel A is a not undeveloped site that will not be developed other than some potential road infrastructure potentially down the road with State Route 35. The area between the 2 bridges, Parcel B, is an area for future development. We really aren't focused on that portion right now. We've really been focusing our efforts on Parcel C, the primary parcel that you see, as Matt said, on the right when you go south on the Driscoll Bridge. And the pilot and special assessment program is limited to Parcel C because that's where the development activities have been underway and are planned over the next 10 years. The concept plan that was approved by the redevelopment agency in 2019 includes approximately 4 million square feet of commercial space, retail, restaurant, entertainment, office and other commercial, hotel, and 2,000 residential units. There's a 15% set aside for affordable housing in the program under agreement with the Fair Share Housing Center and the borough. As I said, Parcel C is the primary focus of this application and the primary focus of development over the next 10 years. Everyone who's driven through here has seen the major improvements to this interchange. Those improvements were funded in a public-private partnership. The redeveloper contributed $15 million, which was drawn down by the state agency as the construction was completed. My understanding, it was about an $80 million total project with a $15 million redeveloper contribution. We also recently completed $2 million of improvements to the 935 interchange offsite as one of our community benefits. The general plan for the construction is to begin along the gateway entrances from the Parkway and move east to west toward the water. The waterfront, the townhomes will be clustered primarily along the waterfront. The centerpiece of the project is a mixed-use village with relatively high density, 4-level residential over retail in a town center grid. But the development will commence with more traditional surface park retail at the entrances from the Parkway. This was the former Dutch Boy paint pigment manufacturing plant, a national lead facility that operated until the 1990s. Matt referenced the history. This was designated an area in need of redevelopment in 1999. The redevelopment plan was put in place then, and the county.
But I have to leave in 5 minutes.
Mr. Shaw. Thank you.
So the redevelopment plan was put in place in 1999. The redeveloper has been involved since 2017, Sayreville Seaport Associates, to convert this site of a former plant that used sulfuric acid, basically to wash ore and create paint pigment, left very significant contamination on the site. Remediation has been underway since 2009. The redeveloper has invested close to $140 million in the remediation of the site, as well as another $150 million plus in site work and infrastructure to prepare it for redevelopment. This is an image of the site from 2019. We began the work, the major site work on the water side, because there had to be major improvements there. Even though the development commences on the east, away from the water, we wanted the waterfront area to be ready to develop once we started construction of the first building improvements. It is post Sandy floodplain ready. We've brought the waterfront area up approximately 10 feet and armored it with a reinforced bulkhead and a concrete reinforced retaining wall. As I mentioned earlier, Parcel A will not be developed. It was deeded to the county and state and has been remediated, and the offsite mitigation of the wetlands, and it is a permanent green space for the benefit of the public. There's also a 13.7 acre waterfront easement through the public-private partnership with the county that began with the condemnation of the land in 2005 to get NL out and allow the redevelopment agency to take control of the remediation. And so as part of that public-private partnership, this area of the waterfront will be open to the public for the first time in over a century when we open this project, and will be preserved for public access in perpetuity in the future. This area along the water is illustrative. There will be a multi-use path. And in this case, along Parcel C, it will be branded as Heroes Walk, honoring the veterans of Sayreville. We do have multimodal transportation opportunities on site. In the initial phases of the construction, we will bring in regional bus service to move employees on and off site. You may be familiar with Epic Church if you've come over the bridge, the church that's been there for about 30 years. This is not part of the project here, but this is the easiest path for a bus to come in and out of the site. It provides pedestrian and bike connectivity throughout the site with the bike lanes and heavily landscaped sidewalks throughout the project. We're also proximate to transit. Metro Park provides not only NJT, but also Amtrak service directly up the parkway. It's approximately 10 minutes, 6 miles. And in the neighboring community of South Amboy, we have access to ferry service and the South Amboy train station, and a Sayreville resident park ride lot is approximately 1 mile south. So ample opportunities to access public transit. This is a recent image of the first facility under construction. This is the largest single-level Bass Pro Shops facility in the country. It will be their East Coast flagship. They're very excited about coming to New Jersey with this significant presence. The building started in September of 2024 and will open early summer this year. We don't have a final date from Bass Pros when they'll complete their interior, but it's as you can see, the building's very far along in its construction, and we have the site, the roads and traffic signals and all that up and ready to go. These are a couple of images of the future state along the water as we this area that I should describe as Heroes Walk, with the improvements along the waterfront, public gathering spaces for performances, and just like I said, a connection to the water for the community that hasn't had access to this area for over a century. So we're really excited about the project and happy to answer any questions that anyone may have about with respect to that overview.
Appreciate the overview. It is quite an undertaking, to say the least, and a really tremendous redevelopment project. Transformative is a mild word to use for it. I don't have any questions. I think there's been tremendous progress already made on this, so this is really encouraging.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I will open it up to the board and public at this time for any questions.
And Director, if I can provide any, details on the financing, how the bonds are secured, et cetera, I'm happy to take you through that as well.
Okay.
I do have a couple, just one thing, actually. Excuse me. It's regarding the, first of all, let me just say I agree with the director. I think it's a very exciting project. I plan to support it wholeheartedly. I do have a question, though, about the public schools, the school's impact. And it's largely driven by the fact that this project, more than I've seen in the other ones we've looked at, has quite a large number of 3-bedroom homes. There are 305, the information I have, 377 3-bedroom homes, 46 of which are Mount Laurel or affordable, and which means that there's, I think, a minimum household requirement of 4. So, yeah, we're saying that there are only going to be 404 students generated by this project. So, again, there are 1,500 units, 377 of which are 3-bedroom. It seems, and I know we tend to lean on the Blaustein school of whatever, this analysis, and it just seems to be on its face that if I have 377 3-bedroom units in a project that I'm only going to generate 404 kids, on its face does not make sense to me. And the only reason I say it is I don't know how important it is to the financing overall from the town's perspective. But I think banking on only 404 kids being coming out of this project, I don't think is fiscally sound in that regard. But that's something the town would have to consider. But I'm just not, I'm not saying you're saying. I know you took the analysis from the Blaustein school, but I think we'd have to question the Blaustein school on any analysis that says you have that many 3-bedroom units, you're only going to get 400. It doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, that's just a comment. But I support the project. I think it's exciting project for Sayreville. Looking forward to seeing it.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jessup, can you speak to the school surcharge that was mentioned in the application? Just sort of what is the what's the terms of that? Like what's the setup?
Yeah, I would actually ask whether either Mike Hanley or Mike Baker are on to answer that question.
I mean, there were projected students and projected school costs to account for the need for additional revenues at the time, on top of the portions of the pilot that will also be coming in. So that, that was heavily negotiated over many years, and the town was comfortable with the total revenue was coming in and the cost impacts that would exist in the town.
Mr. Hanley, how is it being determined? Is it just based on actual school children generated from the project, and there's a specific amount per child living in the project? How is it? What's the structure of it?
I don't know. I think it's by student, but I'd let Mike Baker answer that if he's on.
I'm on. I don't recall the formula that was used in the cost benefit analysis, but I was just about to ask Kevin if he wanted to talk about the special separate payment for school impact.
Yeah,
that's part of the redevelopment agreement.
Sure. Yeah, I'll be happy to speak on behalf of the redeveloper. I was directly involved in all of the conversations with respect to the pilot from 2018 through the approval in 2021. Our financial advisors at BLS Joe Lacey and Jay Biggins were directly involved, and I'll ask them to correct me if I get this wrong, but I'll certainly give you my developer's perspective on how we underwrote the school children. To Mr. Jackson's point, we did use the Blaustein standards. I'll defer to the Blaustein School Planning and Public Policy at Rutgers. It is the gold standard in New Jersey for residential impact, and that was the standard that was applied. The redevelopment agreement allows for up to 494 townhomes to be built with the 3-bedroom format, and with the small any additional units under 3 must be under 3 bedrooms. And so the maximum amount of 3-bedroom units were contemplated in the analysis, and it showed the impact of the absorption of these residents over a long period of time. It's not like these 2,000 residential units. It's a mixture of multifamily apartments and townhomes. They won't be coming online all at once, and so the families will mature over different cycles as those housing units come online, and that's part of what the Blaustein report allows you to take on. And it to your question, Mr. Director, it is based on the projected generation of school-age children among the population within each housing unit type. And so that amount was separately calculated and separately indicated. Our understanding of the legal constraints was that it couldn't be directed to the school board directly, but that it had to be controlled by the borough council, and therefore it was part of the underlying pilot payment, but was flagged separately for transparency into fulfillment of the redeveloper's obligations to support the impact on the local schools.
So what's being sort of termed school surcharge really is kind of wrapped into the special assessment negotiation of those terms.
Correct, but it's not part of the special assessment. I must clarify. It's part of the underlying pilot payment that is under the control of the borough. It is not part of the bonding program. It does not. Those proceeds do not support the RABs. Those are simply the school surcharge is simply a component of the pilot payment negotiated to be made as the development is delivered over time, with a stipulated charge per property type, residential, retail, office. Each has its own individual surcharge, and those funds will be used to support school-age children.
Okay, thank you for clarification. Yep.
Director, maybe to further the developer's point, if you'd like, this might be a good time to sort of outline for the board's benefit the 2 different payment streams and how they function. If that
thank you.
If that works. So, in addition to obviously the project, as Kevin just mentioned it, all of the public benefits, some Kevin mentioned, the waterfront walkway, there's municipal office annex, there's fire and EMS facilities being constructed, outdoor performing arts space. We also have 2 sort of key revenue streams for the benefit of the borough and for the benefit of the project. The first one is the pilot. There is a master special assessment agreement that provides for a pilot across all of the improvements being built. As Kevin was just alluding to, that pilot is a per square foot number with different per square foot rates based on product type. So in 2026, retail is going to pay a pilot of $1.59 per square foot. Hotel and commercial pay $1.06 per square foot. Multifamily residential pays $2.58 per square foot, and each increase annually year over year. That schedule runs for 50 years because, as we mentioned earlier, we know this project is not going to get built in a year, right? This is going to take a decade or longer in order to construct. And so each year those rates go up, and the applicable rate, applies when that component of the project comes online. All of that pilot revenue, less the 5% required to go to the county, goes to the borough for the borough's benefit. And that pilot number, the per square foot numbers that we got to, as Kevin mentioned, were really a product of the overall analysis of the project, the economic impact to the borough, the school district, inclusive of the school surcharge, et cetera. That pilot will last for 30 years for each tranche as it comes online. The pilot will run for 30 years for that piece. At full build out, the total pilot to the borough, including all of the benefit, land tax, hotel tax, et cetera, is about $11.65 million per year. That comes out to about $475 million in total benefit to the borough over the full term of the pilot. You heard the net benefit analysis mentioned earlier. net of all of the additive costs that we know are coming as a result of this project, the borough still has about a $200 million gross benefit, economic benefit to the project. And that's just dollars, right? Forget the economic regional benefit to the municipality. Separate from the pilot, there's also a master special assessment agreement that functions similar to the pilot in that it charges a special assessment on the improvements by type and by per square foot. So similarly, retail is $244 a square foot, hotel and commercial $298, et cetera. And like the pilot, each are going to increase every single year. 100% of the special assessment revenue is pledged to pay debt service on the bonds. So the borough is not impacted at all by the special assessment. It's additive to the borough, and the two do not mix. The pilot goes to the borough, less the county share. The special assessment goes to the bond trustee to pay debt service on the bonds. The current plan is to issue about 8 series of bonds, including this year, and then in 28, 31 through 34, 36, and 39. Now, obviously, that will change in a project of this size. The first bond issue is going to be $3.73 million, and 100% of the proceeds are going to go to repay a land acquisition loan that Middlesex County made. But with each bond issue, it'll be 30 years. It'll be secured by a portion of the special assessment only, and will all be non-recourse to the borough and the county, certainly. And so those two revenue streams are really the core pieces of benefit to both the municipality and obviously to fund all the improvements that the bond issues are proposed to fund over time.
Okay. Thank you for laying that out for everybody. It's a lot going on there, so thank you. All right. Is this in Sayreville, is this sort of the only, I know there's a separate redevelopment agency set up. Are there other redevelopment projects that the municipality sort of collects on pilot payments, and the other people set up to do that in finance? Just sort of general question we ask municipalities.
Sure. So I'll jump in, and then certainly Wayne can jump in if he wants as well on behalf of the borough. For this deal, we are going to set up a revenue collection and disbursement agent. So because we have so many different payments, we have the pilot payment, we have the special assessment payments, we have land taxes, right? We have multiple sources of revenue across a very large project. When we have projects of this size and scope, we like to have all that money essentially go into a lockbox with a bank, and the bank is instructed by agreement to then disperse money to the appropriate taxing entities or parties. So in this case, the pilot, special assessment, land taxes, those will all come into a revenue collection disbursement agent. And that bank will then send 5% of the pilot to the county, will send the balance, the 95% to the borough, and will send the special assessment to the bond trustee, which will likely be the same bank, usually is, for the benefit of bondholders. So Wayne can probably talk about other pilots that the borough has, but in this case, we're going to remove as much of that administrative burden as we can because of the significant number of payments coming in throughout the life of this project.
Yes, as I understand, what exists now are all the pilot payments for various projects over the last 10, 15 years have been going directly to the borough. This particular project is going to be set up with a trustee to handle all the related receipts of the revenues and the disbursements dealing with the project and the payments to the bondholders. So the funds will not be commingled with the borough funds, nor with agency funds, the redevelopment agency funds. They'll be all accounted for and maintained in a separate, probably even bank than what they currently exist now.
Thank you. All right, I will. Are there any additional questions from the board, public, the application?
I just have one, a small one. I understand the developer's picking up all the issuance costs. That's just what, as I understand it. Again, I just want to make that part of our resolution. Because we don't know, typically we would know what the issuance costs are, and we don't know for this one. So as long as the developer's paying for it, I just think we should clarify that in the resolution.
Is
I can maybe just try and clarify the record a little bit. So this first bond issue, the $3.73 million bond issue, proceeds are going to repay Middlesex County. 100% of those proceeds are going to repay Middlesex County. We're also issuing that bond issue now as opposed to waiting because our pilot is based on RABs. We're expecting a CO soon on the Bass Pro Shop, and we need to issue a first series of RABs before that project comes online, right? So this is a small sort of starter bond issue that has the added benefit of repaying a public entity for a loan, in full for a loan that it made to get the project started. Future bond issues, we would anticipate that the cost of issuance are paid out of the bond issue, and those costs would be based on the CIRA professionals, who are, of course, the publicly procured professionals, in accordance with their fee agreements, together with the rating agency. The rating agency's schedule is also available for these bond issues. When you look across the 7 or 8 bond issues, that Moody's fee is between $35,000 and $45,000 per bond issue. The other professional costs, myself, Mike Hanley, the trustee council, those fees would be consistent with what we showed in connection with as a supplemental submission to this current financing that we're talking about, the $3.7 million financing. So we would expect those costs to be similar. They're all being paid out. They will subsequently be paid out of cost of issuance from the bond issue, which are non-recourse and not being paid by the borough, the borough budget or CIRA, but being paid solely out of the special assessment.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Matt, and I know you're an honorable gentleman, and I understand I accept what you're saying. My only point is that normally we have a schedule of what those are, and we didn't get that for this one. And but then I thought it was going to be covered by the developer. If that's not the case, just as long as it's on the record that it's going to be traditional costs, I'm comfortable with moving it. But again, it's atypical in the sense that we don't have the usual schedule that we get of what those estimated costs might be, but it's not prohibiting me from being positively disposed toward the application.
Director, this Himanshu Shah, Executive Director. I think that's a good suggestion. We'll make sure that our resolution ultimately includes the language that will be paid out of the proceeds or the developer's escrow. And we'll direct our attorney to incorporate that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Shah.
Thank you for that great question.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. Do we have a motion to approve the private sale of these bonds and approve the issuance of the non-recourse redevelopment area bonds in the amount not to exceed $200 million and to render positive findings on the proposed project financing?
So moved.
Second. Mr. Jackson and Mr. Duraco, Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Duraco?
Yes.
Mr. Close?
I think he might have jumped off, Mr. Bennett.
Mr. Avery?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
And Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Okay, with 5 votes, the motion is approved.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Good luck with the
Thank you.
acid project.
Thank you very much. Yep.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, that completes the applications. I think there's the just the appeals, which I'm going to have to recuse myself. So, Mr. Bennett.
If I may, Director, if we've lost Mr. Close, then these are the appeals of the director's decisions on which members have conflicts and will not be able to participate. So we would be down to 3 individuals for the Township of Jackson, the City of Newark, City of Patterson, and the Borough of Prospect Park, which would not be a majority of the 6 members, so we would not be able to do these.
Okay, I will, if you want to just take a 5-minute recess and to assess whether he just had to jump off to just
Yeah, I
complete
will.
something, but you may want to call him and then just let me know what the status of that is, and then we'll come back. I'll come back and close out the meeting if we can't proceed, but just take a 5-minute break for everyone.
I'll reach out now.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Right.
Good morning. Hi, this is Councilman Velez. I'm still waiting to see if they go to hearing for my hearing.
Yes, they went on a 5-minute break.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Close will be returning shortly.
Nick,
Yes,
since we're waiting here, I copied you on my response.
I did receive it, yes.
Is that adequate, do you think?
I saw that it came in. I didn't do any review, so I'll take a look and let you know
All
shortly.
right, that's all. Thanks. Just wanted to be sure it worked. I did find it.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm back, Nick.
Thank you, Mr. Close. I have Mr. Close, Mr. Avery. I just want to confirm, Mr. Duraco, you're in here? Some people may have taken advantage of the 5-minute break. Mr. Jackson?
Yeah, I'm here, Nick.
Great. And Ms. Rodriguez?
I'm back too, Nick.
Thank you, Mr. Duraco. Ms. Rodriguez, are you in the meeting? Just a moment, I will be right back.
Nick, are we still on?
Yeah, Bill, we're taking a little break. Everybody should be back shortly.
Thank you, Al.
Okay, Ms. Rodriguez will be rejoining us in a moment and we'll be able to address the appeals. And I do want to state for the record prior to jumping into this that Mr. Avery will be recusing on the Township of Jackson appeal.
I'm gonna leave now, Nick, so text me when I can come back.
Will do. Okay, Ms. Rodriguez, I believe you're in the call or in the meeting.
Yes, I am.
And I have Mr. Close.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
And I have Mr. Duraco.
Yes, Nick, I'm here.
Okay, and Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
Okay, thank you all. The first appeal is filed by the Township of Jackson. It was filed, by Mayor Reyna, Council President Kuhn, Council Vice President Bernstein, Councilman Borelli, Councilman Palmieri, and Councilman Bressi. The board took testimony, received the response on this one at its November meeting, and subsequently closed the record.
So we're looking for a motion to uphold the director's decision with regard to Mayor Reyna, council members Kuhn, Bernstein, Borelli, Palmieri, and Bressi in the Township of Jackson. Can I get a motion?
Well, I'll wait for the motion and I'll comment after the motion.
Yes. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it just for the point of discussion. I don't think that Mayor Reyna should be receive a fine because I believe he submitted the budget timely to the council. By what I read, I think it was in looks like I can't read my own writing. It's either, I think it was timely. It was either say, get my glasses to read my own writing. Looks like 4/16 he submitted the budget to the council. So
yes, Mr. Jackson, I think you're correct. What we're looking for, and I apologize, what we're looking for is to uphold the director's decision with regards to council members Kuhn, Bernstein, Borelli, and Palmieri and Bressi. Nick, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going based on my notes as well.
Yes, it would be to speak to Mr. Jackson's point. That is correct. The mayor information provided to the board was that mayor gave it to council in April of 2025. So would the motion like to be amended to grant the appeal of Mayor Reyna?
Yes, I apologize that we'd like to amend it to excuse me, the director's decision filed by Mayor Reyna, and to uphold the director's decision with regard to council members Kuhn, Bernstein, Borelli, Palmieri, and Bresci.
Mr. Duraco, are you okay with that amendment?
Correct, yeah, so that's moved as amended.
My second as well.
Okay. Mr. Rogers is recused. Mr. Duraco?
Yes.
Mr. Close?
Yes.
Mr. Avery is recused. Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
And Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
That motion as amended is approved. Okay, I'm going to reach out to Mr. Avery to bring him back into the meeting. Hello, Mr. Avery. Welcome back. We have completed the Jackson Township one. Next up is the City of Newark, in which the director fined the following individuals for a late introduction of the 2025 budget. That is Mayor Baraka, Council members Crump, Scott Roundtree, Quintana, Gonzalez, Silva, Kelly, Council, and Ramos. The board received an appeal, gave the opportunity to testify at its November 2025 meeting, and now is asked to take action on the matter.
Thank you, Nick. Do the members of the board have any comments or concerns with this action? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the director's actions in finding the aforementioned elected officials in Newark?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Duraco and Mr. Close.
Questions
Mr. Duraco.
Yes.
I did not second that, Nick.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. It's Mr. Duraco and Mr. Jackson. Mr. Duraco is voting in favor. Mr. Close.
Yes.
Mr. Avery.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez is recused, and Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
Okay, motion is approved. Next up is the City of Patterson. The board received an appeal from Council Member Velez. He provided testimony both in by way of letter and at the board's November 2025 meeting.
Thank you, Nick. Understand we're not taking any further comment. We've considered this at our last two monthly meetings. Is there a motion to support the director's action and in finding Councilman Belize?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second? I think, Nick, I could second it, correct?
You are able to, yes.
I'll second it.
Yeah, Mr. Duraco and Mr. Avery. Mr. Rogers is recused. Mr. Duraco.
Yes.
Mr. Close.
Yes.
Mr. Avery.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez is recused. Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next item.
The next item is the Borough of Prospect Park. The following individuals were found by the director to have violated director decision. Mayor Karula, council members Shah, Ortiz, Nadeem, Hussein, and Rodriguez. They appealed the director's decision, were provided an opportunity to testify at the November 2025 meeting.
Is there a motion to approve the director's action in the Prospect Park Borough matter?
Just again, I just think that the mayor submitted his on time, I believe, for Prospect Park. That was my recollection.
I will confirm the data I have.
I'm unsure, but I thought that was Patterson, but I might be wrong.
Patterson did not, actually.
Okay.
So I still get fined because they didn't submit it earlier?
Yes, the board has upheld the director's action.
So it stands what the director says, though.
Correct.
So I getting penalized because I didn't want a full tax increase on the taxpayer, the city of Patterson? And then because he didn't submit a responsible budget, and I'm getting penalized for going on the wheels of the taxpayer, the city of Patterson? Put yourself in my position as an elected official. That taxpayer cannot get the burden every time that the mayor wants. I think it's not fair.
Well,
I think I did a clear testimony why he submitted the budget late, at a late hour, with a tax increase of 5.8 introduction, and then lower it to 3.5 introduction, and still going after the taxpayer. And I'm the only one in the city of Patterson appealing my action as an elected official, not to put the burden on taxpayers. Put yourself, myself, in as a
We're not taking additional testimony. I will just advise you that there's a deadline set forth in statute. The borough didn't follow them, or the city didn't follow them. There is an opportunity to present a budget either through the mayor's office or developed by the council. And I've been involved in government for many years. There's always issues with regard to how much to spend and on what priorities, and how much revenue to raise and how to raise it. And those discussions really ought to occur during the budget process. Everybody has political considerations. Concern for your constituents is noted, but the matter is concluded.
I appreciate your statement. I just want to make my statement because it's not fair that if the mayor introduced a budget late when he's supposed to, and this DCA is the financial representative of this city, they should be more responsible and sit down with the mayor and tell him where the revenue's coming and not going after the taxpayer.
I understand your concern. We've listened to your appeal, and I appreciate your appeal, and I appreciate your rationale, but the matter's concluded. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to continue serving. Thank you.
So the information I have for the Borough of Prospect Park is that the budget was introduced on August 4, 2025. I do not readily have available the date that it was provided by the mayor to the governing body.
I don't have that, all the backup, but that was the note that I made to myself that he did do it on time. So I'm, perhaps what we can do, Mr. Avey, is just if we could maybe vote on the council people and the mayor separately, because I wouldn't want to support finding the mayors. Maybe everybody else does, which is fine, but I don't want to. I'd like to do it separately if we can.
Sure. I wonder if I don't suppose we could do a contingency on verification of when the mayor submitted the budget and whether it was in a timely manner.
Just one moment.
I don't know how to switch back and forth between the previous meetings and stay connected.
Just going to attempt to confirm with the Bureau of Financial Regs that date, see if they have that.
Nick, do you have this information or not?
I think Bill, he's checking with one of the offices in the local, he's back, I think.
So I spoke to the Bureau of Financial Regs. The information we have was that the municipal budget for 2025 was introduced on August 4th. The information provided to the board, both in the introduction of the budget and the appeal filed by the members of the governing body, did not include the date in which the budget was provided by the mayor to the governing body. So we could get that information for you. It was suggested, I believe, by Mr. Jackson that we take action on the other 6 members at this meeting and then provide that information for the next meeting.
So we would hold any action on the mayor's question and take action on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6 council members named in the department or the director's letter.
Yes, if the board is comfortable with that.
Does that sound like a reasonable approach to the members? If
To
so,
me-
could we have
I so move.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Jackson and Mr. Duraco. Mr. Rogers is recused. Mr. Duraco.
Yes.
Mr. Close.
Yes.
Mr. Avery.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez is recused, and Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
So
Nick,
that-
do we have to do anything formally on holding the action on the mayor, or we just hold it?
Not formally. It'll hold over to February.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to reach out to the director. I see Ms. Rodriguez is here. And bring him back in for the end.
Mr. Bennett, I'm back.
Okay, Director, we have, for the most part, gotten through the appeals of the director's decisions.
Okay.
And there are no more agenda items.
Okay, great. I guess it's left with a motion. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do
Second.
we have a second? Okay, thank you.
Mr. Duraco, Mr. Jackson, Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Mr. Duraco,
Yes.
Mr. Close,
Yes.
Mr. Avery,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
and Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
Okay.
Motion approved.
Thank you, everyone.
We're adjourned.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Lauren.
You're welcome.
See you next month.